Jaguar F-Pace, these are now massive value for money. This car's under £20,000. Astronomical, that is. A lot of badge, a lot of car for the money. Quick disclaimer for the video, I said F-Type, not F-Pace, so I do apologise. Anyway, let's get into it.
The winner is correct!
Right, Jaguar F-Type, 3-litre V6S. S pretty much being the top spec level that you can get with the Sport, which this sort of model is. So you get that much bigger 3-litre diesel engine that produces just shy of 300 brake horsepower, 0 to 60 in around 5.7 to 6 seconds, and a pretty healthy, wow, I say pretty healthy, a very healthy combined MPG. They reckon you get 47 MPG on this car, and that's quite a lot of figures there actually to mull over. The one figure I do want to touch on though is the price, and something that I think makes these vehicles now extremely attractive if you were looking to buy one. Certainly I would be very much casting my eye over one if I was in the market for sort of a nice prestige SUV, but they've fallen not out of the prestige category in the sense of build quality, looks, and the function there with what you'd expect a Jaguar Land Rover product to offer, but they've almost fallen out of the prestige category in price. Let's touch on that. Yes, there's a lot in the news about big SUVs, certainly more towards Land Rover than there is Jaguar, about them being stolen, about insurance companies struggling, but our general manager Craig's just bought a Range Rover Sport, and he's bought it because, very much like this car, it's sub £20,000. That I don't think I ever thought to myself I'd say these words in the same sentence. JLR products now offer great value for money. If I'd have said that 6 years ago, I'd have been fired on the spot. You'd think I was ludicrous. But they are now such affordable pieces of kit. I mean, with a private plate on, even without a private plate, this is a 40 grand motor, like all day long, no question about it. So to get this under £20,000 now is astonishing. On the note of insurance, yes, you can read some horror stories. Certainly where we're based, not a problem. I guess more so if you were city centre localised, but this beauty, well, she's got a ghost immobiliser, so unless you know the right buttons to press in the right sequence, you're not stealing this car. Problem solved. So we've got a problem, we've got a solution, yet the problem still means this car's at a cheap price. So you've overcome the objection or the problem by just fitting a ghost immobiliser. I promise you, without the code, you're not taking this car anywhere. Happy that is a win-win. Let's touch on the car itself. We've touched on the elephant in the room when it comes to JLR products, and certainly how this car has managed to overcome that. But the vehicle itself, I think, is stunning. I've always a big fan of the design on the F-Type, certainly the Sport, which one is, and the S trim. So with the S trim, firstly it's painted in Yulong white, which I think is really a good attractive paint colour, certainly to match with those 20-inch diamond cut gloss black alloy wheels that just make this vehicle look so sleek and modern. Just behind that you get red brake calipers, that's standard with this trim model. Alongside that you get the really more aggressive and sporty S-style body kit as you were, so front and rear bumpers, and you've also got some really nice satin chrome finishes around the vehicle. Privacy glass in the rear as well, so the colour contrast for this vehicle, white and black, you cannot beat. Big fan of white cars anyway, because they just sort of hide the time of age and wear and tear just a little bit better than other cars. Yeah, they don't quite show the usual stone chips and markings that black and grey cars do show, so big plus points there. In terms of the extra spec you get with this, 10-way electrical seats, they're heated, I've got mine on full. They're grained Windsor leather, that comes standard as part of the S trim level this car's got. Adaptive dynamics, which is a really big, cool feature to have on this car. So adaptive dynamics, if I can get my words out, what it does is it constantly measures your acceleration, braking, throttle, all the angles through the suspension, you name it. It just sort of reads how the car's performing on certain roads. So, and then what it will do is it will actually adjust the suspension on the individual corners just to help really flatten and level the car out. And it actually makes such a big difference. Certainly when you're giving it a bit of fruity driving on a B road, the car is actually pretty flat in truth for a very big heavy SUV. There's not a huge amount of roll. Yes, it is SUV, you're always going to get some, but it's a lot better than anything else on the market, I think, for a sporty SUV. It can compete really well, and certainly at the price point, it competes and punches well above its weight on that note as well. Infotainment system's always a big fan of Jaguar because you've got the nice modern screen with all your creature comforts behind, but you've also got loads of buttons. The buttons are big as well, so you've got gloves on, you can press them. It's just really well thought through, the design and interior. But ultimately, I keep mentioning them, when you've got buttons with the screen, you still get the modern functionality of the nice, beautiful recessed screen, but you're not too distracted when driving on the road. You can easily change between your functions, your radio, your aircon, your heated seats, etc. Everything's really accessible and easy on this vehicle. Other features to note, I mean, the vehicle's had 5 service stamps across its history. It drives superbly well. I'm really, really impressed. Engine itself, we mentioned, 296 brake horsepower. Let's just give it a bit of a boot up the road to see actually how it gets on. So I'm just going to flick it into dynamic. More throttle response straight away, power down. Oh, not a lot of turbo lag actually, in truth. It picks up and pulls really well. We're doing, well, national speeds and a national, pretty sharpish there, to be honest, but I'm really impressed. The throttle response is very direct, and like I said, you are in a heavy car, but it handles pretty well in truth. You can have a lot of fun with this car, and at the same time, it's so versatile. When you're in that more comfort mode or eco mode, I think they've got on these vehicles, you can get that healthy 47 mpg combined with your kids, your shopping, dog, and everything in the back, because there's loads of space. In terms of driver aids, I've got lane assist on the vehicle. There's a tow bar hitch as well. You've got autonomous braking, so emergency braking, so if something pulls out or it thinks I'm a bit too slow on the reaction times, the car will brake for yourself. The other thing I'd like to mention that sometimes goes a bit unnoticed is steering wheels. I'm a big fan of Jaguar steering wheels. They're very much a bit like Mercedes in the truth, and I'll tell you for why. Sometimes certain cars like Audis I find are too hard, BMWs can be a bit too thick. I find Jaguar and Mercedes have actually nailed it, and the thickness of the wheel itself is right in the middle. It's absolutely spot on. The buttons are really easily accessible. I haven't got to extend any thumbs or fingers by 3 inches to try and press anything. I'm a really big fan of the car. The interior styling is actually superb as well. I love all the door cards there, the trim, the wraparound leather dash as well. It's such a nice place to be. The seats are really comfortable, but I'm just going to put it back into eco mode now, and it's such a quiet and comfortable car to drive. I think if you're in the market for an SUV, I really think you should definitely consider one. If you test drive one, you will not be disappointed. It ticks a lot of boxes and just covers pretty much every branch and avenue of what a big SUV should do, certainly with that 3-litre V6 engine behind it as well. Such a versatile vehicle, and I will mention it because I mentioned it before, and it just needs to be highlighted again and again and again. You can get this car for under £20,000. That is absolutely astonishing. That is superb value for money. On that note, thanks for watching. So that's it for a wrap up. Really impressed with this car. As I mentioned, it's a massive amount of car, badge, luxury for the money, sub £20,000, excellent condition, drives mint, ghost immobiliser. What else do you need? Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.